Hi, my name is Jen, and today I'm going to do a Fragment Friday from my current read, which is Beastly by FLINN. I'm reading it because the movie is coming out, I think, tomorrow. If you've never heard of Fragment Friday before, what it is a weekly meme where you read a short excerpt from your current read. Oh, and it was started by the Book Chic. I'm going to read to you the teaser at the beginning and then the first couple of pages of the first chapter. I'm allowing the world to see you as you truly are, Kendra said, a beast. And then I was pouncing on her, my claws dragging into the flesh of her neck. I was an animal, and my animal voice formed not words, but sounds I couldn't have made before. My animal claws raked her clothes, then her flesh. I smelled blood, and I knew, even without even having word for it, that I could kill her like the animal I was. But some human part of me made me say, "What have you done? Change me back, or I'll kill you." My voice was beyond recognition as I howled, "I'll kill you." Then suddenly I felt myself being lifted off her. I started to see her ripped flesh, then her clothes repair themselves, as if they'd never been torn. "You can't kill me," she said. "I will simply move on to a new form, perhaps a bird, or a fish, or a lizard. And changing you back isn't up to me, it's up to you." Part 1, A Prince and a Witch, Chapter 1. I could feel everyone looking at me. But I was used to it. One thing my dad taught me early, and often, was to act like nothing moved me. When you're special, like we were, people were bound to notice. It was the last month before the end of 9th grade. The substitute teacher was giving out ballots for spring dance court, something I'd normally have thought was lame. "Hey Kyle, your name's on this." My friend Trey Parker lifted my arm. "No duh." When I turned Trey's way, the girl next to him, Anna, or maybe Hannah, looked down. She'd been staring at me. I examined the ballot. Not only was my name, Kyle Kingsbury, there for 9th grade prince, but I was the sure winner. No one could compete with my looks and my dad's cash. The sub was a new one, who might still have been under the mistaken impression that because Tuttle was the type of school that had a salad bar in the cafeteria and offered courses in Mandarin Chinese, i.e. a school where the serious money people in New York sent their kids, we weren't going to bust on him like public school dregs. Big mistake. It wasn't like anything the sub said was going to be on exam, so we were trying to figure out how to make reading the ballot and scratching in our choices take the entire 50-minute period. At least, most of us were. The rest were texting each other. I watched the ones who were filling out their ballots, glancing over at me. I smiled. Someone else might have looked down, trying to act all shy and modest, like they were ashamed of having their name there. But it doesn't make sense to deny the obvious. "My name's there too." Trey flicked my arm again. "Hey, watch it!" I rubbed my arm. "Watch it yourself. You've got this stupid grin on your face, like you've already won. And now you're giving the paparazzi a chance to snap your picture." "And that's wrong?" I grinned wider, to bug him, and gave a little wave like people in parades. Someone's camera phone snapped at just that moment, like an exclamation point. "You shouldn't be allowed to live," Trey said. "Why, thank you." I thought about voting for Trey, just to be nice. Trey was good for comic relief, but not too gifted in the looks department. His family was nobody special either. His dad was a doctor or something. They might post the vote totals in the school newspaper, And it'd be pretty embarrassing for Trey if he came in last, or even didn't get any votes at all. On the other hand, it would be cool if I got 2 or 3 times the votes of the next closest person. And besides, Trey worshipped me. A real friend would want me to win big. That's another thing my dad always said. Don't be a sucker, Kyle. And do things out of friendship or love, because what you always end up finding out is the only one who really loves you is you. I was 7 or 8 when he first said that, and I asked, "What about you, Dad?" "What?" "You love me. Us, your family?" He gave me a long look before saying, "That's different, Kyle." I never asked him again if he loved me. I knew he told the truth the first time. I folded my ballot over to keep Trey from seeing I'd voted for myself. Of course, I knew he voted for himself too. But that was different. That's when I heard a voice come from the back of the room. "This is disgusting." We all turned. "Maybe someone left a booger under her desk," Trey whispered. "Was it you?" I said. "I don't do that anymore." "Disgusting," the voice repeated. I stopped talking to Trey and looked at where the voice was coming from, this goth freak sitting in back. She was a fat chick, dressed in the kind of flowing black clothes you usually only see on witches or terrorists. We don't have uniforms at Tuttle. It would piss off the parents not to be able to buy Dolce & Gabbana. And her hair was green, obviously a cry for help. Weird thing was, I'd never noticed her before. Most people here I'd known my whole life. The sub was too stupid to ignore her. "What's disgusting, Miss Hilferty," she said. "Kendra Hilferty." "Kendra, is there something wrong with your desk?" "There is something wrong with this world." She stood up like she was making a speech. Something's very wrong. It's the 21st century, and this type of elitist travesty is being perpetuated. She held up her ballot. People giggled. "It's a 9th grade dance ballot," Trey volunteered. "To choose the royalty?" "Exactly," the girl said. "Who are these people? Why should they be treated as royalty? Based upon what? The people on this ballot were chosen on one basis, and one basis only: physical beauty." "Sounds like a good basis to me," I said to Trey. Not too softly. I stood. "That's BS. Everyone voted, and this is who they chose. It's a democratic process." Around me there were some thumbs up, some yeah-mans, particularly from Hannah or Anna. But I noticed that a lot of people, mostly the ugly people, were silent. The girl took a few steps toward me. "They're sheep following the herd. They vote for the so-called popular people because it's simple. Surface beauty, blonde hair, blue eyes." She was looking at me. "It's always easy to recognize. But if someone is braver, stronger, smarter, that's harder to see." She pissed me off, so I jumped on her. If someone's so smart, they'd figured out how to get better looking. You could lose weight, get plastic surgery, even get your face scraped and your teeth bleached. I emphasized the "you" in the sentence, so she'd know I meant her and not just some general sort of you. My dad's a network news guy. He says people shouldn't have to look at ugly people. "Is that what you think?" She raised a dark eyebrow. "That we should all transform ourselves to be as you want us to be, Kyle Kingsbury?" I started at my name. I was sure I'd never seen her before. But, of course, she knew me. Everyone did. Probably had some pathetic crush on me. "Yeah," I said. "Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I know." She walked toward me. Her eyes were light green, and her nose was long and hooked down. "Then you better hope you never get ugly, Kyle." You are ugly now. On the inside, where it matters most. And if you ever lost your good looks, I bet you wouldn't be smart or strong enough to get them back. Kyle Kingsley, you are beastly. Beastly. The word was from another time and place. It made me think of fairy tales, and I felt this word tingling, like the hairs on my arms had caught fire from her eyes. I brushed it off. That's the end of chapter 1. I hope you enjoyed this Fragment Friday, and if you can find a copy, try to find a copy of Beastly and read it. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm on chapter 2 of part 2. The book's organized into sections, and it's 304 pages, plus there's segments, samples in the back for her other books. That's the author right there. I hope you enjoyed this Fragment Friday, and maybe I'll do one again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye. Until next time.